Hi everyone. I'd like to talk a little bit about my experience with irritable bowel syndrome. I had it since I was a kid, but I didn't know it. It took me more than 20 years, probably even around 25 years, to realize that I had it. Okay. So when I was a kid, then I uh, I generally experienced some pain after eating certain things, getting certain food, or maybe sometimes it was related to the fact that I was eating too much because when I was younger, I was eating way too much. Okay, I was constantly taking some extra portions, or even sometimes even in an entire plate, another plate of food. Yeah, that sometimes I was that extreme. Um, so it continued like that for a lot of years actually. When I was in pain, I was going to the bathroom and experienced like very painful cramps, and sometimes I even stayed in the bathroom for more than 1 hour. It didn't want to stop. It sometimes it stopped just briefly, a couple of minutes, and then you come back, and this is an extremely painful experience. And then I remember that I was laying on my bed, and I was trying to breathe slowly to try, hoping that it was going to stop. But it happened again, and this is something that I went through for a lot of years. I can't say for sure how many times I experienced this kind of pain per week. I cannot say for sure, but it was very constant. Okay, um, and the thing is that I thought that this was normal. I just thought that when you were like eating a lot like that, it was normal to suffer what I was eating and to have this kind of suffering. Like no one told me. And the thing is that at some point I also realized that my mom told me that she had IBS when she was younger. And even when she told me that, it didn't like make me believe that I had it. I was still not too confident at that time, and it continued like that in my teenage years. I experienced something similar, where sometimes it will happen, and I still accept it to suffer. And sometimes it can be very unpredictable. Yeah, so we don't know for sure when it's going to happen. I know that for some people it can be worse than others, but when I think about it, while the pain is really terrible to constantly experience something like that, when I think about it now, it feels like it's not dramatic compared to what happened next, much later, which I'm going to talk soon about that. Okay, so when I dropped out of high school, so I still didn't quite accept IBS yet. Okay, it took me a couple more years. When I started to at least reduce portions, and I got rid of certain food. Start to test a little bit to see what could affect me a little bit. So I'd say it was a little bit better. But it was a little bit more after that I made more research on the internet, that I truly accepted that I had IBS. And so I looked at the FODMAP diet, and I started by myself. So I didn't follow it completely strictly at first, but I looked at on the internet the FODMAP foods, and I tried to greatly reduce them or simply remove them, and this got much better. Okay, it got better, but I was still experiencing certain things. But it was not long after that unfortunately IBS got much worse for me. Okay, because at the time I could still eat a lot of food with gluten, for example. Like I was eating bread, pasta, a lot of stuff. I was still eating some restaurant at the time. So then I realized that something was terribly wrong. It was much worse. And not only I experienced more pain, but I also felt like more sensible. I felt that I had much more food intolerance. So this is when I started to take the FODMAP much more seriously. I also, for the first time in my life, took an appointment with a nutritionist. So I was hoping that she was going to maybe give me some advice, which will help me, even if it costs a lot of money. But and to try to follow the FODMAP diet more seriously and strictly as possible. So that's what I did. So I started to even get rid of gluten, because gluten food generally have fructans, and this is what matters here, is pretty much the fructan content, because it's not certain that I have an intolerance or sensibility to gluten. Well, I definitely don't have a celiac disease, but so it was a big change for me. I started to, like I said, to buy some gluten-free bread, and mostly gluten-free, even remove dairy, and I tested a lot of stuff. I removed and then reintroduced some FODMAP food. Did a lot of testing. I did that for a couple years, but every couple months I reintroduced some stuff. And in that time, I had very little physical suffering, physical pain. So that was much better. The problem is that what I ate was a totally different story, okay? I had never experienced something like that before. Like, I almost never ate restaurant anymore. It was mostly very healthy. But at that time, I had developed, like, a lot more health issues, mental disorders, and who knows what else. But so the thing is that even if I really experience physical pain, I had never experienced such lack of mental clarity before, also known as brain fog. I was constantly experiencing some symptoms, related to sensibility to food. A lot of food made me feel worse mentally, but I didn't experience any pain though. So that's the positive thing about that. Strangely, even if I didn't have the pain overall, my state was still much worse. Compared to what I experienced before, I'd take the physical pain. Imagine that. Yeah, it's just that bad. There's no productivity anymore. There's almost nothing. I'm not saying that I was productive before, but at least technically it could have been productive if I had wanted, but I didn't. At the time, I didn't want enough because I was addicted to video games, and movies. But now that I really want to be productive, it's extremely difficult. Even if I rarely have physical pain, almost never happens right now. So this is pretty much where I am today with IBS. So like I told you, I recently started the keto diet, which is, well, it's a diet where most of your calories have to come from fat. And, well, with IBS, while fat is not a fun map, it can be hard for some people to digest. And so I may not be quite fully adapted yet. This may never happen, actually. So I don't know if it's a good mix, IBS with keto, I can't say. But sometimes right now I still experience some fatigue, which may or may not be related to fat. Okay, maybe I'm not good enough at burning fat right now, and a part of this could be related to IBS, unfortunately. But I cannot give up just yet on keto. I have to try for at least probably a couple of months more, just to see if this could work for me. So hopefully in the future, I'll be able to reintroduce a lot more food and feel fine. But right now, I cannot say that I am optimistic about that. So that's about it. I just wanted to give you a good idea of what it can be like to live with IBS. So thanks for watching, and see you in another video.